Maitte Puudespohtin Säpmäi Podotjui. On behalf of the Sami Council, I wish you a warm welcome to Sapmi. Podotju, Puuta, Puudö is on the traditional unceded lands of the Julev and Pihtan Sami people. It's wonderful to have so many indigenous people, indigenous scholars from around the world here. And I might even say that it's NAISA to be here. Thanks to Katri Zombie on that show. The Sami Council is one of the oldest international indigenous peoples organizations in the world, and in 2 years will be turning 70 years. With the research, we work as a facilitator and a partner. Recently, we were part of creating 2 documents that, with which we want to raise the need to decolonize Arctic research. We call for indigenous peoples' participation in research funding structures and emphasize the role of indigenous professionals in leaders in research. We also highlight that the research needs to be relevant for the indigenous people's communities. And want to stress the importance of equity of knowledge systems. And we also underline the need to build institutional capacity for ethically engaging with the indigenous peoples and our knowledge. And you can search Roadmap for Decolonial Arctic Research and towards Arctic research upholding indigenous people's rights. I hope you'll find these documents valuable also beyond the Arctic. Next summer, next year, we are organizing a Sami Science Week, or Tiedä Vahku. There we aim to highlight the exciting things happening in the Sami academia. And we want to offer this gathering arena for those working with Sami-related research. And it will be in Gotha again on the Norwegian side of Sapmi on the week of June 9th, 2025. So I hope to see many of you there. I come from a salmon fishing community in Tietno River Valley. This is the 4th consecutive year when we have a complete ban on salmon fishing due to declined stocks. The salmon fishing Sami communities in Tietno have experienced an end of a world. Our relationship with our key species has been severed. New species has taken over the river, or takes over every other year, pink salmon. And while we are learning to use this as a resource, the Norwegian authorities have decided that it is not a resource, it's a harmful species that needs to be eradicated. And they're trying to develop equipment for catching all of this new salmon. A huge fence is set across the whole river, which is also disturbing the native salmon. And while every odd year the pink salmon is the most numerous species in the region, we apparently don't need to be heard in this matter or let to share any of this catch. We gather here at quickly evolving, unstable and violent times. The AI revolution is reshaping the world, and these technologies are not exactly built on respecting indigenous data sovereignty. Every year we break previous heat records as the climate crisis causes ever-growing destruction. Yet every year more greenhouse gases are being released. The impacts are reshaping the Arctic that we call home. Here in Europe, wars are closer than ever during my lifetime, causing immeasurable suffering to civilians who just wish to live their lives. Ever since Russia launched its brutal attack on Ukraine, our official cooperation with our siblings on the Russian side, Sami siblings, has been on hold. In Palestine, Israel's settler colonial violence has culminated into a genocide. And it is no coincidence that the strongest supporters of this violence are nations who have themselves used the genocide to acquire territory and serve their interests. Settler colonial nations have a tendency to craft mythologies to sanitize their past and present, which enable the justification of stealing of land. This can be considered a form of a collective amnesia. And it chills my spine that in this civilized West, still in 2024, we find ourselves having to argue that apartheid is wrong. Let me turn now towards Sami to give you a brief look to the contemporary situation of the Sami people through a few key recent events. And